So on that first appointment, she said that the tech told her, you're having 3 babies, but she needed to bring the doctor in to explain further about this unique pregnancy. So when you first took a look at the ultrasound, what were you thinking and how did you describe this to Madeline and Taylor?
Yeah. So the first appointment, so the way that our office is set up is that the patient meets with our sonographer first. They get the ultrasound, and then the sonographer and the doctor review the images, and then I go in the room. And so the sonographer came into my office and she's laughing, which is different than how we normally do that. And so I just said, okay, what's going on? She said, you pull up the pictures. I can't even pull up the pictures. And so I pull it up. And at one point, then we both start laughing because it is so rare. Like, so I can't even tell you how rare it is. And we were both like, well, this is different. This is fun. And so when I went in to see Madeline and Taylor, they were also laughing. I think they were more in the, oh my goodness, surprise, there's 3 of them. As a physician, part of it was the, oh my goodness, there's 3 of them. But because her uterus is also shaped differently, the combination of a triplet pregnancy, which rare, and then on top of her uterine anomaly, even more rare, it's so hard to even come up with like what would be a statistic for this. So when I think about like twins or triplets, I think in the rule of 3s. So like 3% of all deliveries are twins. When you have identical twins, which 2 of her babies were, that's about 3 in 1,000. Okay. You think about triplet babies, that's more of like 3 in 10,000. So already we're going into this in the 3 in 10,000. And then you think risk of complications and all of that. Because of how her uterus is shaped on top of that, that puts her in like 1% of the population. So all of these things together is just, I've never seen it, and everyone that I had talked to had never seen it. So the way that I explained to Madeline and Taylor the way that her uterus is shaped. So a normal uterus, non-pregnant, is often like the size of a fist. Okay. And then we have our little fallopian tubes coming off of each side. And then this little fist grows into a big balloon, essentially, to support the pregnancy and the baby. What Madeline has is, instead of this nice smooth top, she essentially has like a Mickey Mouse ear coming off on each side. She had 1 baby on one side and the twins on the other side. And then as the uterus grew throughout the pregnancy, the Mickey Mouse ears grow and everything grows. And so the combination of her uterine shape, which is about 1% of the population, with the triplets, which is also super rare, it's really hard to even like put into words how neat and also a little nerve-wracking and also really exciting it all was. The other thing that I would say too is, for like triplets alone, over 90% of the babies, either one or multiple of the babies, will end up coming out small. There's just not a lot of room. They run out of space to grow. Preterm delivery is more common. And then with her uterine shape, all of those things are also true. So she was at risk for a lot of serious things and at very high risk of very serious things. And she made it to her scheduled delivery day at 36 weeks with 3 normal-sized babies.
Are you surprised that she didn't know of this before, going in for her first ultrasound?
Yeah. So of the people who have this type of anomaly, there's really no reason to know that you have it unless you've had an ultrasound. Some anomalies we can find just with a pelvic exam, but we would not have been able to discern that from Madeline. So really, without an ultrasound, she wouldn't know. there would be no way to know that. And she had been our patient for a few years, but before the pregnancy, but hadn't had an ultrasound. So it was a surprise to all of us.
They didn't know the genders, which makes it so
Yeah.
much more exciting. And my favorite part is when you looked at Taylor and said, Taylor, you're outnumbered. And they told that story. And I love that. So that's so exciting. But also just, if you could put into words how big of a miracle it was, again, just to have those 3 healthy babies and just how smoothly the delivery day went, and not having to go to the NICU or anything like that too.
Right. I mean, honestly, like each piece of this is well, this would be great if it happens. Well, this would be great if it happens, but prepare that something else could happen. And honestly, everything that went right, of which there was a low chance of going right, everything did for them, which was amazing. So, getting her to a scheduled delivery day and not having a middle of the night, preterm labor, bleeding, complications of some sort. I mean, just getting to a planned day. She had never been admitted to the hospital. There was never like a day of, oh, I don't know, we should watch you overnight. Nothing the whole time. So even making it to her delivery day was, I mean, it happens, but kind of uncommon. And then again, to have 3 babies, all nice normal size. Nobody was on the smaller end of things. Nobody was having growth problems. That alone, I mean, over 90% of triplet babies, at least one of them will have some issues growing. So that again, another great thing. And then oftentimes, because triplets are either early or at least one of them is small, most of the time they'll go to the NICU, so they'll go to the neonatal ICU, even if it's just for monitoring because they're small and they're early. And the girls never left the delivery room with Madeline and Taylor. Even our pediatricians are like, well, this happens like once every 5 to 10 years that triplets just get to stay in the room. I mean, just everything went right. I delivered them on my birthday also. It was just so fun. It was just so fun. Everything about them and delivery and all of it was just, it was really special. It was just so special. It was so cool. All of it.
Is this one of the highlights of your entire career?
Absolutely. Without question. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, to have patients as wonderful as they are is always such a blessing. But certainly I think it's common for anybody in medicine, and especially as OBs, like we carry so much of our patients with us and worry about them, and they keep us up at night. And so to have these 3 beautiful, healthy girls and to have everything go so well, I will certainly never forget the delivery day, the pregnancy, any of it. It's been such a blessing to be part of this process with them. I mean, if anybody was going to be able to handle it and do it and make it go well, it was going to be Taylor and Madeline. So I think everything just worked out.
Yeah, they were.
And they're just made for it.
Yeah, they really were.